Shut up and sit down.
3, 2, 1. What? Come on. What?
I'll count us in, and then I'm like waiting. And
Wait.
It's like 4 seconds of silence. And
Yeah.
Then you're just like,
3.
3, 2. So I started laughing.
All right, here we
I'm
go.
ready.
You ready? All right. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Con and Bob podcast with the one and only Bob and the one and only Con, because who else would be here with you? But welcome everybody to this awesome podcast. I am joined by the one and only Robert, of course. How you doing, man?
I am well, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing pretty dang okay.
I am doing absolutely solid.
Yeah,
mediocre.
just a slightly above average. Yeah.
Perfect.
No, but like speaking of slightly above average, how about the wrestling this week? That was pretty good.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I thought that it was good. There were a lot of very good matches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that stood out other than 1 or 2 matches,
Yeah.
maybe 3 that are really going to be like a couple weeks down the road, month down the road. I'm going to be like, oh, remember that?
Yeah,
like, for instance, the gauntlet match.
Okay.
Remember
Yep.
from a while
Yep.
ago? That match was like months ago, and we'll still be able to talk about it like it happened this week.
That's very true,
Right.
man. Yeah, you bring up a good point there.
So there was nothing that was that caliber, but even matches such as like just below that, right? I'm trying to think of other ones on my.
What'd you do there? Knock over that cup?
No, my cat just jumped up on my counter, and
Jeez.
I think I've been feeding him a bit too much because he's having a hard time making that jump.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But
it
anyways,
was good.
yeah. Good overall. Pretty solid
Yeah,
shows.
good overall.
Yeah.
I thought both shows were good. I thought a lot of good.
Yeah, just a lot of good. All right,
No,
so
not much bad.
without further ado, we might as well break down this a lot of good. Let's start off with the Braun Strowman segment. It opened up Monday Night Raw, and this was a very different but similar segment. It sounds like you've got something you want to say here. You're slamming your pen down. Yeah.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. It felt the same,
Mm-hmm.
but then there was, you know what I think it was? The words he was saying was the same.
Mm-hmm.
And like some of the things were the same, but then just the aspect of like him going backstage and like the destroying the limo and stuff like that.
It felt very familiar.
It felt familiar in the sense of like old. Like it felt like older wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Like Vince McMahon when he was around a lot, which made sense that he was in the segment. So,
And it also it made sense to me that of course Braun Strowman would be fined by the chairman of the board, right? But the fact that they took away his WWE Championship match, they did that to try to create sympathy for Braun Strowman, and it's also because he's not cleared to return to the ring. That's why they did that. But is that the right way to try to go with Braun Strowman, creating sympathy for a man of his size and strength?
see, I don't know that it's necessarily sympathy, but more so a build. Like in the aspect that, like, you know what? 1, he's not cleared, so there's that. And then 2, maybe it's not the right time right now, right? Like maybe what he's saying has some, or what Paul Heyman's saying and other people are saying has some truth behind it, right? Like you've lost to Brock before. You've been beaten before.
Yep.
Why do you think now you're going to beat him?
Yeah, what's different now? Like, honestly, when you think
and
about it.
Braun, what we were talking about last week, Braun isn't necessarily saying anything's different. He's just still saying the same thing that he said before. I'm tougher than Brock. I'm stronger than Brock's scared of me. And we're like, we get it. And then you lose. So what? I don't know.
There's really not much that's different this time around, because if you think about it, he had a surgery. He's essentially not as strong as he was a year ago at the Royal Rumble. Like, that is something to think about. Now, obviously, that is just speaking from real life sense, but like if you get surgery done on you and you come back, chances are you are not quite at the exact same position you were before the surgery. I mean, you're being opened up, right? So to expect Braun Strowman to go face off against Brock Lesnar after having elbow surgery, that's a stretch. One Kimura lock and it would be over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyways,
I agree though.
Anyways, though, what I will say about that segment is Elias was awesome in his brief time.
I was just gonna. I literally have written that, and then I say backstage bit Elias in brackets with a check mark and like an aspified it. And also, he was amazing.
He really was, and also Baron Corbin. He proved that Braun Strowman really is just a giant Neanderthal. Right? That's really what he is, because Baron Corbin has zero power, yet he goaded Braun Strowman into following him into Vince McMahon's limo and ripping the door off. That was what Braun Strowman, he got goaded into it by Baron Corbin. It made Corbin look like he's still a smart character, even though he is so despicable. The fact that he's still wearing like his general manager clothes to get heat, I find so funny. Oh man,
I do love it. I think this is the good Corbin character.
Yeah, like he's such a slime ball, and you almost gotta love it. Yep, you almost gotta love it. Okay, then
I will say quick though about that backstage the limo thing, like just the flip. We've seen him do that before, and I get it. He's a big, strong man who can flip things. Yeah. But like from a production standpoint, from a broadcasting standpoint, I was sitting here kind of chuckling watching the cut. Yeah. The 7 different angles, just constantly changing, showing every single angle, and I'm like, I get it. Yeah. He's big. He's strong. We all know that he's big and strong. He can flip a limo. We get it. Doesn't mean that he can beat Brock Lesnar.
Yep, I agree. And you also got to think back to like when they were building up Braun Strowman. Part of the reason that he got over was because he did so many outlandish things backstage. Repeating the same thing, he flipped the ambulance before, now he flips a limo. Yeah. It's not impressive the second time that you see it around. Show us him doing something else that is an incredible feat of strength backstage if you want, right? But try not to repeat the same things over and over again, because we've seen it. And with the internet, we never stop seeing it, right? So they need to kind of watch that with Braun Strowman. It's very unfortunate that his character is losing a lot of steam right now.
Yeah. I like that it's offering up potential for other characters to elevate.
Yep, I do, but I don't think that to elevate other superstars, you have to take away a push and strong booking of another superstar, right?
I agree.
So, yeah, they need to work on his character a little bit, but I think he'll be fine through it 2019. They'll find a role for him.
Speaking of strong booking.
Okay, yeah, nice little segue there. I almost messed up that word. Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks teaming up to take on the tag team of Nia Jax and Tamina. You got what you wanted. Nia Jax and Tamina as a tag team.
Yeah, that's fine. I like it. They're going to be in the announcement that we'll get to later. Yep. I think that they'll be in it. I don't see why they wouldn't.
They make sense. They very well could be the first tag team champions.
Yeah, but strong booking for me in this is Sasha. I don't know if it's just me noticing more, but I feel like the last few weeks, in the last little while, Sasha has been, and she's always been a great wrestler, but I think that she has been even better. Like, I think that she's,
you know what it is?
A bit of it might be the truth, like showing like her character, you know how like reality imitates character or whatever they say like that. Yeah. I think it's partially a bit of that. Like, she believes that she's the best, and from a technical standpoint, in the ring, I don't know that there's many in WWE that are better than Sasha Banks.
Yeah, that's a fair statement to say.
On the women's roster.
You know what? On both. Let's give her that.
On the men's roster, she's probably top 10.
She's fantastic. Let's not undersell her. It was not too long ago where she was the hype of NXT. She was the hype of the future of the women's division. People were saying Sasha over Charlotte. Right? That was not long ago. So this is definitely not out of left field for Sasha Banks to be hot again. It's all it took was the right feud and some right booking and a couple wins on Monday Night Raw being spotlighted
and
for Sasha.
Good showing. Getting the opportunity to show well. And the thing that really stood out for me was the way that she handled Nia and Tamina, who are both significantly larger in stature than her.
Yes.
In height and weight and everything. And the way her agility combined with her strength and the actual like transitions of moves, I'm just noticing it a lot more recently and being like, oh, she looks really good in the ring. Like if she continues
very crisp
wrestling like this, if she continues wrestling like this, you can't not have her as a singles star, right? Like,
yeah, you know what though? Like,
part of me even thought she could, if they wanted to go really left field and just kind of catch everyone off guard and have something memorable, she could be the first one to beat.
Yeah, I am going to hold my horses in thinking that that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen anywhere else but WrestleMania if it happens this year. It's starting to tease the 4 Horsewomen feud again.
Well, like, I was going to say, when she was walking off, she
held up the 4. Yeah, and so
I was like, ooh,
there's that little bit in me that is like, okay, like let's see Ronda beat Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Let's say she's knocked off Charlotte now. Or no, did she? No, she did get the win over Charlotte through disqualification, correct?
Technically,
yeah. So she's knocked off Charlotte. Maybe she knocks off Sasha Banks. And what if she knocked off Becky Lynch at the Royal? Oh my God, WrestleMania. There we go. Holy, been a long day. But yeah, imagine.
And then the 4th is Bayley, right?
Yeah. So then you get a win in there.
Bayley before WrestleMania, even.
What if that was the
Elimination Chamber?
Yeah.
Right?
They're probably gonna have no, because they got the women's tag team match. I don't know. It's gonna be weird.
I don't think that they'll have that many, right? I think that because they have the women's tag team one, I don't know that they're going to do a women's one. They don't have that many superstars, I don't think. They're going to need 12 superstars.
Well, what do they have? They have... Oh, I knew this math when the Royal Rumble was going on last year. I think they have 20-something superstars under the rostered contract, or with rostered contracts, is something like that. But there's a couple more now that NXT call-ups have happened. Yeah. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I don't think that one will end up being in a Elimination Chamber match. No. You could have the headlining women's match be Bayley versus Ronda Rousey.
That's
you
what
could, like you were saying there, but also that would then take away Bayley from being in the tag team match with Sasha Banks, which if Sasha Banks does have a really good showing, which she is gonna have against Ronda Rousey, then you'd almost like for them to run while she's hot and give them the tag team titles then, right? The Boston Hug Connection as the first ever women's tag team. You could also then lead that into WrestleMania for a 4 horsewoman storyline, right? Your tag team titles could be a part of it somehow, or whatever. It would work. So they've got a lot of options coming out of the Royal Rumble, which is really nice.
Yeah, good match though. Ronda and Sasha pick up the win. Sasha taps out Tamina. I liked it.
Yep. One little thing on the promo afterwards. Ronda can't be apologetic moving forward. We got to stop seeing that. Yep. Stop apologizing. Be a badass. That's what we need from you.
I didn't really like the promo post match, but
Sasha stood out. Sasha stood out on the mic.
Sasha was obviously good. I think it's tough anytime they have Ronda, and like you said, being so like, oh, I'm so sorry, and then like chasing her out of the. What I would have liked is like her to run out of the ring and then like maybe grab her and then get a little tough, right?
Yeah.
Like, be the
say,
baddest woman on the planet.
What would have been awesome is just a simple line like this turns her around and say, "You don't walk away from the champ." Something like that.
And then even a little bit of a scrap. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to see them keep their hands off each other for a little bit longer. Let's give it another week before the physical altercation happens.
Next week it'll happen.
Yep.
You heard it here first.
All right. Let's go into the Revival versus Lucha House Party. These guys, I mean, the Revival finally got their revenge for those stupid Lucha House rules.
I know. I'm happy. I'm hoping that this starts a like a winning streak.
Yeah, I think it's gonna.
the Revival.
You know what?
But
it's looking like they're going to do, though, is they've put the Revival down so much with these conspiracies, right? Yeah. Overall, like, they've been losing a lot, but now they've got this momentum going, but they won through shady ways, right? And if they continue to win through shady ways, then it's going to be like, well, weren't you just complaining about the exact same thing that happened like just a few weeks before? And that's going to create such a good heel tag team, because whining when things don't go your way, but then cheating when you can, it's such a great heel tag team.
It's it's like lie, cheat, steal, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit of that. Lie, cheat, steal to win. So,
But I'm going to say it right now. The Revival need the tag team championships now. All right? Like, give it to us as soon as it's possible. Whether that's on Raw next week, whether that's at the Royal Rumble, give us the tag team championships on the Revival. Needs to happen.
I think it's a Royal Rumble pre-show match, to be honest. Unfortunately. But I think it's not the Revival's fault. I think it's the champion's fault right now. And nothing against Bobby and Gable. Obviously, you know how much I love both of those guys in the ring as individuals. I just think that tag team doesn't have enough story to it. It doesn't have enough.
They were rushed.
Yeah, that like it deserves to be on the main card.
Yeah, and like when you try
Especially
to mesh,
when you have the Smackdown tag titles picture of all these different tag teams, how often that one's on the pre-show, and I'm like, those tag teams just feel more important. No offense to the guys on.
No, I don't think that's offensive at all to either Gable or Bobby Roode. They were two single superstars meshed together when they didn't have anything going on. Like, they just kind of threw them together. If you're going to put two single superstars together, you might as well lean into the tag team a little bit sooner and don't give them crap stuff. I mean, let's be honest. The reason that they are not elevated to the level that we want them to is because they got their robes pissed on by Drake Maverick. Like, that P segment took all of the momentum under the sails from Chad Gable, Bobby Roode, and the Authors of Pain. Like, just those segments alone, they kind of hurt those characters, which is really unfortunate.
It sucks because Drake Maverick was so good right when he came in.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think Authors of Pain will have another run in the near future.
Oh, yeah.
They're just letting them fade off TV while the image of that peeing segment just leaves our brain.
Yeah.
Okay, Vince McMahon, he came out. Pretty awesome to see Vince on TV every time. The man looks great for his age. I still can't get over that. Yeah, very good segment.
Good segment. The Finn and Vince thing, I really enjoyed.
Let me tell you something that I love with that. It is a huge callback to earlier in 2018 when Finn Balor was using that whole over thing. Do you remember that all over Twitter, where he was like filling every single word that had the word over in it and putting it in all caps because Vince McMahon thought he wasn't over with the fans? And it just was a huge callback to that. And I loved that. That was some great storytelling. Remember when I say plant those seeds everywhere? That seed was planted a year ago, and it finally grew into something in the form of Finn Balor getting a massive push.
I just think that they did this so well. This one night, they did so well by Finn.
They did.
The fact that he goes out there, he's the fourth guy out there after John Cena comes out, after Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre come out. And they're these big guys. John, massive, obviously. Drew, huge and massive. And Baron's just a big guy, tall as hell.
Yep.
And then Finn Balor, who's like our height and weighs less than us.
Yep. Well, pretty close.
And starts talking to Vince. And I love the line. Well, you're agile, you're athletic, but there's a whole lot of beef in here. I love that line.
Yep.
One, because, like, who the hell says there's a lot
Who says beef? Only Vinnie Mac. Like, come on.
But also because I just think it was so well done the way that he's like playing him down, and then you add in the aspect that he goes backstage, and then it turns into Jinder Mahal stopping him,
who, by the way, had a really good promo backstage. You got to give credit where credit's really due. Like, he actually had a good promo backstage.
You know why? I thought he didn't have the sound to him, where he's like,
the modern day Maharaja.
Yeah, where he's trying to be like menacing. I'm like, he was just being a slimy heel.
Yep.
And he was speaking normal.
I'd honestly like to see his character get a bit of a reboot in 2019. I know the Singh brothers and Alicia Fox are a big part of his character thing, but maybe let's stop focusing on him being a foreigner heel, and let's try something different with him.
Yeah.
Maybe I
really want to see the Singhs as a tag team. I want to see the Bollywood Boys?
Bollywood Boys, yeah.
I really want to see that in WWE, because it also just helps to have even keep them stabled with Jinder. I don't care.
Yeah,
but have them wrestle. They're wrestlers.
I agree. I absolutely agree with you on that one.
What is with this thing of taking wrestlers that are capable of wrestling and making them sideshow manager-esque?
Yeah,
I'm like,
that is a good beef to have.
Man.
Definitely a good beef to have.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
It was a good segment, though. Led to the Fatal 4-Way later, but first Finn Balor had to face Jinder.
That was a little bit later, actually.
Yeah, but that's what that whole segment came from. Jinder ended up weaseling his way into a match against Finn Balor.
Yeah. And
then the winner of that got to be in the Fatal 4-Way.
Exactly. Anyways, though, we then had the showing from a new WWE superstar, Nikki Cross. Nikki wants to play. Nikki wants to play. Like, yeah. Oh, she is going to be so good on this main roster.
I love it. I love her character, man.
Yeah, this so crazy character that we haven't really seen anything like her before.
Not on the women's roster, for sure.
Nothing comes to mind, even in the men's roster. Like, there's just nobody.
I have a hard time thinking, but
we've had some psychotic characters before, but she is like something else. It's just that she's so fun and so unpredictable that you don't know what's going to happen.
I love her character. I love this match was good too, really good. I mean, Riot Squad's always great.
It was a little clunky at times.
Natty's great. They're all great wrestlers throughout. More so on the one side than the other side.
Yeah.
Because Natty's a dying breed. I realized this match. She's part of a dying breed. She is one of the very few true technical wrestlers left.
Yep. Okay.
And I think she's probably one of the best technical wrestlers. She's probably the best technical wrestler on the women's roster, and one of the top in the men's as well, like overall roster.
Mm-hmm.
She's very good, technically sound. Like she's a heart.
She's a heart.
Like, and it makes sense, right?
Yeah. She was trained in the Hart family dungeon, right? Like, it does show. Yeah.
It shows. You're like, that is a wrestler, right? That's not an athlete in the aspect of like this agile athleticism and stuff. That's not this or that. She is a goddamn mat wrestler. She can wrestle the hell out of you.
It's almost unfortunate that Natalya didn't have, I mean this in no disrespect whatsoever, but just like a better voice. You know, it's almost it's very unfortunate that she just doesn't quite have that promo sounding voice. She always feels a little bit forced, but that's just the way that she speaks, and this is no disrespect to her whatsoever. Because if she had the promo ability of, say, a Sasha Banks or Charlotte, imagine what Natalya could have been well. Like, because there's no doubt she is a fantastic wrestler, but she's almost like the upper mid-card who can go into any main event that you want, but we're not going to roll the title with you for super long. You'll get it here and there, but you're going to be a major role player for our division. You're not necessarily going to be the person that we turn to for absolutely everything.
The one thing I will say, Well, first we'll say Nikki, Natty, and Bayley ended up winning this match.
Yes.
It was a good match. What do you think of the match itself?
The match itself, like I said, it was good. It had a few clunky moments, and I would have liked to see Nikki Cross pick up the final pinfall on her first night on Monday Night Raw. Other than that, though, it was solid. But Riot Squad needs something to do. Boy, they need something.
The one thing I noticed with Natty, or with Nikki, rather, sorry. I love her character. I think she's an interesting moveset. She's very intriguing. She's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that this character, though, is a world champion character. But this is the thing that I love about the inclusion of the women's tag titles now. I think that she's a phenomenal tag team champion, partner.
You know, it would be really cool.
Provide such an interesting, weird tag team, right? One person who's just so sound and like a Natty, like a Natalia, who's super well sound mindset and in the ring, everything. And then there's just this psychotic wild card partner of hers that she has to keep under wraps at all times. And
I'd like to see Ember Moon and Nikki Cross paired up as a tag team.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really fun, because Ember Moon has that same kind of freakish, she's got something different with her, but at the same time she's such a calm and gentle person. That I think that would make for some really cool promo segments, backstage segments, Nikki just running around and Ember looking like, what am I gotten myself into here? But yeah, that match overall was decent, and like you said, Nikki Cross would be solid. She'd be really good in a tag team.
I think so too.
Yeah, that with the women's tag titles,
for, hot tags. She'd be great for hot tags.
Yep. And the beautiful thing is that she is such a baby face right now because she's so crazy, but at the same time, her character can easily flip to a heel at any point.
That's the thing. I think this character as a heel might be able to be a world champion.
It's a very Sami Callihan type of feel to a character. Yeah, as a babyface, not going to work. Heel?
I think as a face, it's just too fun.
Yeah.
To be a world champion, right? It's No Way Jose is so much fun. But you're never going to want him to be your world champion with this character.
Yeah.
Right?
Very true. Very true. That's a good way of putting it. Let's move on, though, because then we had the Balor versus Jinder Mahal. Like Jinder Mahal, he had a good promo segment backstage, but the match was just a clear squash match meant to put over Finn Balor, and there's really not much else to talk about other than that. Finn Balor looked solid. Again, it was. Yeah,
Finn. This was part of the good booking for Finn as a face, I think.
Yep.
It's
I agree.
the overcoming the adversity. It's the overcoming the negative thought of your boss, right? It's like Daniel Bryan having to win before he could go on to win the championship at WrestleMania, right?
Yep, exactly.
So it's the same thing where it's like, oh, yeah, no, you're in the Fatal 4-Way match. Oh, actually, you have to beat Jinder first. And then you're in the Fatal 4-Way match. And that's not how it went. I know that Jinder got to pick his opponent, and he obviously picked Finn because he's the smallest.
Yep.
But then all of a sudden, here's Finn thinking backstage, oh, yeah, I'm in the Fatal 4-Way match, getting taped up already. And then someone comes into his dressing room and goes, oh, by the way, Vince said that you have to fight Jinder first. So now all of a sudden he's like, are you kidding me? I just had to verbally prove to him and show him in the ring there that I am competitive enough to go for this. And now he's like, oh, no, you have to have another match.
Yeah.
I think, though, just from a face standpoint, it helps that underdog build, right?
I absolutely agree. There's nothing better than watching an underdog be built up. I love watching it when they overcome all the odds. That is what wrestling is all about. And WWE throughout 2018 just kind of forgot about the underdog stories. They're really, really good. And it's what gets people invested into the shows. So Finn Balor, man. And imagine if Finn Balor pulls off this victory over Brock Lesnar. It could happen. It could happen.
It could. I think it could be Seth versus Finn at WrestleMania.
You might be onto something there. And imagine if Finn Balor comes out in the demon paint. If he comes out in the demon paint against Brock Lesnar, how do you not have him go over? You got to, right? You have to. And to me, there's no other way to return the demon character other than that. Because the last
100%.
The last time we were supposed to see it was when it was supposed to be Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. Or no, sorry, when it was Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt with that weird cross-dressing thing, and then Finn Balor ended up facing AJ Styles, but he was in the demon paint. That's the last time we saw that.
I know.
That's so long ago.
It's been a while, and also like just the things that you could play on with that, like, oh, Brock can beat the dead man, Brock can beat the Phenom, but he can't beat the demon.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
that's a good tagline. Woo!
Stuff like that is so cool to me, man. Like, I think this is huge. Also, we kind of just gave away the Fatal 4-Way finish.
We totally did.
That's all right.
I'm sure most people listening know what it is. Yes. Next match, triple threat match, Intercontinental title, Rollins, Ambrose, Lashley. We have a new Intercontinental champion.
I like it.
I do too. Let me tell you something, though. I did not expect Lashley to win this match. I expected either a trade back and forth, like Seth Rollins winning back the IC championship from Dean, or Dean Ambrose retaining it through whatever means. I saw Bobby Lashley being in there as just to be something different for the feud of Ambrose and Rollins. But now what I love about this is this opens up Rollins and Ambrose to go do, whether it be feud with each other or go into the world title picture, whatever it may be. Rollins and Ambrose are now free from the mid-card picture if they want them to. And especially with the no automatic rematches for Ambrose, he's out of there. And he could be a main event heel player. There's a lot of shifting coming up in the WWE, and I love it.
Yeah. I didn't think about it beforehand. I was like, oh, Ambrose will probably retain. Maybe Seth will win.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe 5 minutes into the match, my mind started thinking, maybe Lashley should win. Maybe he could win. And I was like, he should win. All of a sudden, I transitioned in my mind to, this is the perfect opportunity for Lashley to win the title and see what he can do as a heel champion.
Yes,
and
I agree with that.
It's not the world title, but it's the Intercontinental title, and see what he can do with it.
And right? You know what?
Let him dominate the mid-card division.
The IC title has been hot. Like, there is absolutely no reason for Bobby Lashley, when he picks up this title, he's not coming on to a cold title, right? No, that wordplay kind of sounds really funny. Anyways.
And I also think that Lio Rush can be perfect as, like, a type of person to be, like, interrupting the announcer and be like, hey, the Almighty, like introducing him as the Intercontinental Champion, right?
Yeah.
I think I midway through this match, I was like, 100% this should happen. And then I was like, when it did, I was like, yes. Also, that spear was just vicious looking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he did a full-blown...
It was a crazy spear.
With it.
But, like, also, playing back to last week, you and me, remember when we were talking on here, we said that this was the version of Bobby Lashley that they wanted to have in the WWE. Like, this heel, dominant Bobby Lashley with somebody as his microphone in Lio Rush. This is what they wanted, and this is, like, the best rendition I think we've ever seen of Bobby Lashley. At least. In WWE. In WWE, yes. Yeah, no, I'm very happy with it.
So, yeah, I was... ecstatic with it, and I agree. I'm intrigued to see where they go with Rollins and Ambrose moving forward, hopefully upward. Mm-hmm. But next we had the Moment of Bliss, second episode. I wasn't huge on it because they didn't give it the time again. They
it was weird, eh?
The women's tag titles. I loved it. I thought that was great. They look awesome.
Beautiful titles.
They look amazing. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, this is good. Let's see where this is going. And then as soon as she asked like the first question, Paul Heyman was the guest on it. He answered, and then it got interrupted. And I'm like, you're not going to build a show by constantly interrupting it.
I absolutely agree. When I was watching it, like, basically, there was too much that went on in this Moment of Bliss. You started us off by basically introducing... How did it go? Did they introduce the tag titles right off the start, or was that middle of the segment? I can't remember. Was that middle or
the titles started the segment.
Right, because Alexa Bliss unveiled those, and then Paul Heyman.
She talked,
right?
She unveiled them, and then she brought out Paul.
Right. Yeah, so Alexa Bliss, throughout this Moment of Bliss segment, we got the tag team titles revealed. Paul Heyman cutting a massive promo putting over Drew McIntyre. We had Otis Dojovic making his debut on the Raw roster, being very weird. Showing. And then you also had Tucker Knight then come out to try to pull him away. Let me say something, WWE. Random does not equal funny. Do not do random stuff. Make stuff that makes sense. Because, like, we're going to flash forward to SmackDown here. The opening segment lasted about a half hour, and it flowed so well. It made sense. You know, absolutely every bit in that made sense. Raw, on the other hand, there with the Moment of Bliss thing, it was very disjointed. It didn't make any sense for Otis Dojovic to be coming out, other than to show that this guy's going to be weird. Be excited for this. But he wasn't even debuting on Raw. He's just out there. It was very weird.
I think what they should have done, what would have made the most sense story-wise, unveil the women's tag titles on Moment of Bliss. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yes.
Have Stephanie McMahon come out maybe to talk, to be the interview subject of Alexa Bliss, to talk about the women's tag titles, to talk about Elimination Chamber and the tag match, which was also revealed that that's how they're crowning the first women's tag title champions. 6 women, 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown, Elimination Chamber, which is
6
why
teams.
We don't.
Yep.
Yeah, 6 teams. 3 from SmackDown, 3 from Raw in the Elimination Chamber to decide the first ever women's tag title champions, which is why we don't think that there's going to be a women's title. Elimination Chamber. So I think that they should have, if you want to unveil the tag titles on Moment of Bliss, do it, but have the interview make sense to that.
I agree. Yeah, you know what? They got a lot of potential with this Moment of Bliss stuff. Like, there is potential with it. They've got cool graphics. They've got a cool setup for it.
They've got an amazing character hosting it.
Yeah, and like, it's not in the ring.
These things always go over better when their heels do it.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. Yeah, like, and it's not in the ring, so it's just got a different feel to it being up on the stage. But you gotta give us interviews that make sense. What makes Miz TV so fun to watch is that he has guests that make sense why he has them out there, right? He plays the storyline along with it. What they did with this one is they just crammed too many stories into one talk show segment, and that doesn't work. You gotta have the interview and the interviewee, right? Okay, so then that passes on over to the main event. We already briefly touched on it, but Balor versus Cena versus McIntyre versus Corbin. Finn Balor picks up one of the biggest wins of his career. I was about to say the biggest, but his Universal title win is definitely bigger. Yeah. But this is one of the biggest wins of his career, right up there. Massive, massive win for Finn Balor. It was awesome to watch. Cena did the job fantastically, putting Finn Balor over at the end there.
And the promo at the end of that after was really good as well. It
really was. But one thing I will say here that really surprised me is Baron Corbin did not look out of place in that Fatal 4-Way.
He looked really good. And I really liked that Fatal 4-Ways, triple threats are no disqualification. Nobody
make use of it.
Weapons that often, which also we saw it twice this night. We saw it in the triple threat match for the IC title where Dean and Seth teamed up to take out Bobby for a bit, and they used the steps. They picked up the stairs and ran through.
Use it. Why wouldn't you?
And Lio Rush interfered a lot. That was great. Tonight we saw it was Baron, right? He just grabbed the chair, started beating people with a chair, right?
Yeah.
So I just like that they're like, hey, this is a no disqualification. Go get a weapon.
Logic.
Go do something illegal.
Yeah.
Think logically as a heel. As a heel, why not?
Why wouldn't you do that?
Going to do that. As a face, sure. Respect and whatever, hustle and loyalty or whatever.
All that John Cena crap.
And invisibility and whatever.
Yeah.
But as a heel, cheat.
Yep.
Cheat.
I agree. Cheat. Yep. Do it.
I thought it was really well done, and I thought, like you said, Baron looked good in the match. He didn't look out of place. I thought any one of them could have really. I mean, Baron is
Corbin was not going to win it.
Could have won. But realistically, Drew could have won.
Mm-hmm.
John could have won. Finn. Well, I think Finn, from a development point, was the right person.
The show would have felt incomplete if Finn hadn't have won it because of the way it was built. It was very, like, when now you look back on the show, you're like, okay, that was very obviously a show about Finn Balor, right? This was his show.
It's like Finn Balor was the star of this episode.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he did great. We are going to get Lesnar versus Balor at the Royal Rumble. Oh, hell yeah, that's going to be good. Lesnar apparently asked to work against Balor as well, so I think that he's going to put his best effort in that match. Going to be a really good one. Let's move on over to Smackdown Live, the January 15th edition. So this Smackdown episode, like you said earlier, there was a lot of good wrestling, and there was one really freaking good match throughout the week, and that took place on this edition of Smackdown Live. We will talk about that in just a moment's notice. But we started off the show with Becky Lynch. And Becky looked like an absolute star. She got the camera treatment that somebody like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan would get.
Pulling into the parking.
Vince McMahon gets that type of camera treatment. Becky Lynch, the star of SmackDown Live. And when she's walking through...
The star of WWE.
Yeah, the star of WWE. And when she was walking through, you know, she had that little segment with the New Day and then Heavy Machinery again, getting lots of weird TV time. But I love how WWE's starting to make their wrestlers do things for memes or do things for GIFs. Xavier Woods ripping his shirt off to show the man with like the confused look on his face is one of the funniest things you'll see. Like, oh my God, if you got a few moments, look that up, folks. It's really, really funny if you happen to miss that part. But yeah, Becky Lynch is an absolute star. The Iconics held their own.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I thought their promo work was excellent. Billy Kay had good timing for the first time in a while, maybe ever. She felt like she had good timing on the microphone. She's always been able to deliver lines, but her timing of the what was it that she was saying? But or whatever it was, and that weird like break word. I forget what it was that she said. That might have been it. Whatever it was, her timing felt good there. And Peyton Royce then carried on the rest of the promo, and the two worked off each other. And I thought it was really well done.
From an in-ring standpoint, too, I thought it was all right. I thought because it led to Peyton Royce taking on Becky.
Yep.
Because Becky came out, Asuka came out, she was shit-talking Asuka. Asuka came out, she was shit-talking her. And then they're just going at each other. And then the Iconics came out and said that they're going to be they claimed that they're going to be in the Elimination Chamber.
I think they should be.
I assume they should be.
Yeah.
And they then were talking down to them, and just it's going to be iconic.
I love that Superman pose.
Cape thing.
The little cape pose. It's just so awesome. I love it.
But I thought that they did well there, and then I really liked the matches as well. It led to Becky not being in attire, just in like street clothes, being like, okay, get in, you know what? And fight me then. I'll show you who the man is.
I would almost love for Becky Lynch to have that attire all the time. The man t-shirt with the jeans.
It looks awesome.
That looks like mega star, right? Like that Stone Cold Steve Austin type of feel to it. She has so much potential. It's not even funny.
I know.
2019, we thought 2018 was the last couple months was the bit of Becky Lynch, but 2019 we are going to see what she's really all about. We have a megastar on her hands, and it's really exciting to watch unfold.
I'm excited. And she wrestled, and that match actually lasted a while, which was great.
Yeah, Peyton Royce got a good showing with the champ, or former champ, I should say.
And with the true champ.
Yeah, the true champ.
With WWE's champ.
Yeah, there you go.
But like, yeah, it was a good match, and I liked it too because like Becky still just shows like she's not dominant, but she will kick your ass.
Yep, she doesn't give up, right? That's what Becky's all about. She's not going to give up in that match. I like that they don't book her as a dominant person because she isn't, right? That's never been her character.
Her transitions into the Disarmer have gotten as a heel, a heel that she is now. They've been so good because it's just literally out of nowhere. Like the RKO is out of nowhere. The Disarmer is out of nowhere.
Yep. You don't know when it's going to happen. But you know what also is out of nowhere is Asuka's Asuka lock. Oh, that thing looks really, really, really strong. She's putting it in deep. She wants to sell this idea that she is a badass champion. And Asuka, there's nobody scarier on the microphone than when she gets going in that Japanese. I wish she would just speak it all the time. I don't want to hear her speak English. Come out, say the person's name. Becky? Right? That's what I want to hear.
I love that it led to Asuka versus Billy.
Yep.
And the way that she did it, she just got in the ring and started yelling in Japanese, and they're like, she's angry. I don't know.
Yeah. like there's nothing scarier than that.
And then Billy got in the ring, and they did it well to book Asuka as a dominant champion, because she gets in the ring, and after a 10+ minute match, would you say, for Peyton and Becky?
Yeah, it was around that time, I would say.
10 minutes, roughly.
I think it lasted a commercial break.
There was a 30-second match between Asuka and Billy.
Yeah.
She got in the ring and she made her tap like that.
And I also loved how she was, remind me if I'm wrong here, I could be remembering something else, but she was going for Becky Lynch's Disarmer, right? And then she flipped her over into the Asuka lock. I think that's how that happened. I could be remembering something else. I watch a lot of wrestling. But yeah. So that if that is how that ended, if I'm remembering that correctly, I thought that was a pretty cool transition. If it didn't, well, I mean, still a good match.
Yeah. And then we led to good segment overall, really good.
Yep.
It led to after the next segment was
AJ Styles.
Oh yeah, we did get that AJ the AJ
AJ,
which I liked.
Yeah.
I thought that this one was better than Daniel's.
Really? Okay, see, I'm the other way around. I thought Daniel's mic work was delivered better, but I liked the brawl.
That's what I mean.
So
that's
here
what I
now.
mean.
Okay,
I think that Daniel's mic work was great. I think I love the aspect that AJ's throwing free merchandise out to fans. And then I love the aspect that Daniel's in the crowd of people and attacks AJ.
Yep, I agree. One thing WWE needs to, I know they've got just the highest production quality possible, and so who am I to say anything on this? But you got to be a little bit careful if you're going to have that many fans around and cutting a promo. You got to hear the promo from AJ Styles. It was very tough to hear at times. I know I'm nitpicking here, but if you're going to do more of these segments, which it seems that WWE is starting to, right, using more of the arena as opposed to just the ring, make sure that you can hear the superstars cut their promos, because it was at times difficult to hear what AJ was saying. That also is cool, hearing the fans be that loud, but when he's delivering important lines on a pretty high-profile story, we got to hear what he's saying. So that was just my little nitpicking thing there out of that segment. If this match is going to exceed their other matches, I think it needs a either no disqualification tag, or it needs a false count anywhere, or something along those lines, like an Extreme Rules maybe. But Extreme Rules doesn't really seem to fit this feud. The false count anywhere makes sense because they've been all over the arena.
That could be good.
So I know we just saw a false count anywhere match with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, which makes it feel kind of rehashed. But at the Royal Rumble, a false count anywhere match, I think could be pretty cool. You could make use of the backstage area and have all the superstars warming up for the Royal Rumble, and there'd be a brawl in there.
2 out of 3 falls matches are technically anywhere, right?
Yeah. No, not anywhere. You can have a falls count anywhere 2 out of 3 falls match if they wanted to.
That one might not be bad.
That would be pretty cool.
But again, it depends how much time you want to give up, right?
Yeah. It should get a lot of time though. I mean, it's the Royal Rumble. It's there's not a lot of matches.
12-hour show or whatever.
Yeah, there's not a lot of matches on it so far. I think you only have the women's and the men's Royal Rumble. Then you've got your 4 championship matches. I don't know if you've got anything else other than that announced right now for it.
Back to SmackDown though.
Yep. Back to SmackDown.
Up next we had Ali versus Joe, right?
Yes, correct. Well, kind of.
Ahmed Ali versus Joe Frazier. Not at all.
Samoa Joe
versus Samoa Joe.
Yeah, we're gonna get this feud.
Didn't happen because Joe beat the living piss out of Ali.
Did he ever?
Which was really good. It just showed, like, I'm bigger and tougher and more dominant than you, and I will. It's like manhandle you.
In a way, it's like Samoa Joe saying, "Don't forget about me." Because like there's been these call-ups recently, he's starting to fall a little bit down the card.
Most ferocious men on the roster.
And then he takes out this up-and-coming superstar who is loved by the fans, Mustafa Ali. This is going to be one of the better feuds of 2019, I think. It's not going to steal the entire show, but they are going to put on some.
We don't know that yet.
I'm assuming they're probably not going to steal the entire show with their program. Like, you normally got to have a pretty hot program for it to steal everybody's hearts like that. But I think this is going to be a solid program from start to finish, and I'm excited to see Ali versus Joe.
I'm really excited to see, hopefully, a bit of Joe's more athletic side.
Yeah. It's been a bit since we've seen that.
Because he is a super athletic and agile big guy. And you don't see it as much, so I'm hoping that Ali brings it out. Right?
Yeah, I think he probably will. Cool. It's gonna be reminiscent of Samoa Joe and AJ Styles back in the early days in TNA. I think Joe's gonna break out that type of style. I think to match Ali's quick pace.
Yeah, and then we had their tag team partners from last week.
Yes,
facing off in a singles match, which we'll just say it now, both of our match of the week.
Yep, loved it.
Because Andrade. Also, are they just going with Andrade now?
They are, yeah. That's the only really negative takeaway of this segment. They quietly dropped the Cien Almas and just went with Andrade.
I loved
so
that.
Did I.
Almas, even just in general, just talking like Almas. Yeah. Almas.
I just love saying his name, Andrade Cien Almas, right? Like that just has a cool ring to it.
What Cien and Almas mean? Cien's 100.
Okay.
And Almas means souls.
Interesting.
Which I think is just really cool, like 100 souls.
100 souls, yeah. I didn't know that. That's a really cool thing.
I think it just is a really cool other thing to it. And I was like, oh, now that I know that, I see it in a different light. That's really cool. That like he's a soul taker. Like he goes out and destroys people because he does.
He really does. It's weird hearing like the announcers now. They're going to be saying Andrade as opposed to Andrade Cien Almas. I like that better. That has a better ring to it.
Yeah.
We'll see if WWE sticks with that though. They very well could turn back the clock and give him his last name back. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
although if that's what we're nitpicking about this match,
let's talk about the good stuff. Holy crap.
The match last week, seeing just those two last week in the ring together, it was surpassed.
Yes,
I
was.
think it was a slower build. I think last week out of nowhere. I think that they built really well in this match. It was like, okay, it's good. It's a good match. I think last week actually might have been, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God.
So when that match started getting built up, it had that slow pace to it at the start. And when you get those matches that when you have two very athletic guys like that with such a slow pace, you're like, oh, okay. All right, something's going down here right now. We gotta watch this unfold in front of our eyes. And they didn't disappoint. In this match, they had a crucifix bomb, another Canadian destroyer. They had a
different transition to it too, which was wild to go from the power bomb to it.
And they also had that crazy Hurricanrana sent to the outside, a 619, and oh my God, and Almas getting put over.
619 was it a 619 was caught and then put into a fisherman carry and then thrown into a crucifix bomb?
Yeah, that's what it was. That's how it went down.
Are you kidding me?
And then Almas finishing off Rey Mysterio the way that he finished off Drew McIntyre to capture the NXT Championship. I loved it.
DDT from the top rope at the turnbuckle too, and just and Selena Vega got the distraction on the referee that led to. Although I never understand. I mean, I guess distracting the competitor for that one split second. Like Ray did have that look over, like ref, pay attention. but they always act as if they're doing something illegal when they just hit the ropes.
Yeah.
And then they fall to
wrestler. It's so funny watching wrestlers because they just get so distracted so easily. Like someone's entrance music hits. Let's completely forget what's going on in the ring and turn around and look at the ramp. Like
literally just squirrel.
Yeah. Like come on, who's over there? I hear music.
Amazing match though.
Yeah.
I honestly think looking back at it now, I liked it more because of the build.
Yeah, I do too.
At the start, I was like, oh, this is a little slow. It's good. They're amazing. I'm like, and also Ray's attire was on point.
Oh, fantastic.
Awesome. The purple and light blue.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, it's good. And then just so many moving parts to it of just those two and Selena. Amazing, man. Like
so good.
I can't say, and Corey Graves said it, I think it was Corey, that he thinks that he said it in the match, I think, saying that Ray has never been this fast. Like, he's never been this quick. And I'm like, it might be accurate. Like, he's putting on some matches that I don't know I've ever seen him put on.
He's working at another level that he didn't touch before. And he's quick for sure. I don't know if he's as agile as he's ever been.
But I think looks up for his age. He's
crisp.
How long he's been wrestling. Oh
yeah, is he ever crisp in that ring?
Yeah.
Like I think that's what separates Rey Mysterio. You can tell the difference between, say, somebody like Rey Mysterio and a Kalisto with their lucha style, because Rey Mysterio is just so crisp when he delivers those hurricanranas. He's so crisp when he does a high-flying move. He doesn't look out of place at times, whereas other superstars who do the lucha libre style, the head scissor timing might not be there. They don't work well with their opponents to time it right. However, Rey Mysterio goes in there, delivers a hurricanrana on anybody, and he makes it look like they're $1 million when they sell it. I don't know how he does it, but Rey Mysterio is an absolute legend, and he pulled the absolute best out of Andrade C and Almas. This should have been the main event, but it wasn't, for whatever reason.
Which is fine. The main event was a good match. I did enjoy the main event.
It should have been switched, though, 100%. Yes, playing off 100%. Of last week with Almas winning last week.
It's a weird thing to have. Well, one, they went back-to-back with Ali and Joe, and then Andrade and Ray, which is weird because Ali and Joe didn't get a match.
Yep.
And also, break it up. Yep. But also, the weird thing is, the big showmanship of Shane O'Mac's birthday seems like a middle of the card thing.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah,
it's not the main event thing, which is fine. But regardless, amazing match, Ray and Andrade. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it.
Yep, casual fans as well. I doubt there's any casual fans just watching this podcast or listening to it. But if you are listening, watch that match. If you watch one match for all year from 2019 so far, that is the match to watch. It's very, very, very good. Okay, let's roll through these last two segments here.
Mandy Naomi, what do you think?
You know what? It was weird because throughout the entire time I was watching, I'm like, why is Jimmy going to this room to begin with? But I loved the reveal of Naomi. I actually popped for it.
I felt it. I was like, I don't think that he's going to the room. I think that he's told Naomi. I thought when he got the key, I thought he might just give the key to Naomi, and Naomi was going to come in and start a brawl.
But I like the way they did it.
I was like, or he's going to go and bring Naomi somehow. And then as soon as he has that whole talk, and Mandy's like, oh, I want to ruin Naomi's life. I'm so much hotter than her, whatever. And then Jimmy's like, my wife.
Yeah.
My wife?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just walks out. I was like, Naomi is about to beat the piss out of Mandy.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. And then she came in and Mandy got away. But I liked the segment. I still think it's a bit of a weird feud.
It is weird. I will give them this.
I like the segment.
This has allowed Mandy Rose to develop heat with the WWE Universe, right?
Yep.
Because they are showing she is a slime ball. To get at this person that she doesn't like, she is trying to sleep with her husband. But then no.
Well, make it seem
sleep.
like
Yeah, sleep, quotation marks. Yeah. That is not a nice person right there. You're like, okay, so you're going to be a homewrecker. We don't like you already. And then
even Sonya Deville said it. She's like, Mandy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Which I also like. That
There's
planted a seed.
There's a little bit of good in Sonya development.
There is. Planting those seeds with Sonya. I love it because I think Sonya's got massive potential.
Oh, yeah. I think that she can be a really good face, too.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's got lots and lots of potential. That MMA style is taking over WWE, and she's going to do great in the future. But, yeah, Mandy Rose, I just liked that because it was a way to show off her sexy side, right? And in the proper way, not having some cameraman walk in and seeing Alexa Bliss with her top off. By the way, why didn't Alexa Bliss say, "Don't come in, I'm changing," after he knocked 3 times? That was bad.
Because Vince McMahon likes to have girls without their clothes.
Yeah, that was just really bad. Anyways, go away from Raw. Come back here to the good stuff. But Mandy Rose, that was, I think it showed off her character perfectly, gave her some microphone time, which she has been doing well with. And then Naomi got a bit of a brawl in with her, but Mandy got away, so there's more of a feud to be explored here, and I want to see a match between them. I think that's good,
Main event?
Main event time. All right. So, Shane
O'Mac. Happy birthday, Shane O'Mac. First of all. First and foremost, happy birthday to Shane Air McMahon,
Yeah. And speaking of air, holy crap, those Jordans are sick. Oh,
right?
Oh my God. Those were
can be any
dope.
color you want. Red, white, black. So 3 colors.
Yeah.
3 colors, but you can be any of 3 colors.
I'm loving Miz as basically a baby face. He is so goofy.
He's a weird face, man. I love it, though. I think he's good as a face.
This is what you call naturally getting over with the fans. It's what happened with the Usos. It's what happened with the New Day. And it's what happened now with the Miz. When these heels that people just don't like, you're annoying, they just start to naturally get over with the fans, and they got to turn them babyface. And they did that with Miz. It's weird seeing Shane and Miz together, but honestly, that it's not a bad combo because Miz can deliver in any promo segment that you give him. So that package,
that video package was really good.
It was. I
just liked the whole segment of the promo aspect. I liked that we got a one-on-one Miz versus Sheamus match out of it, and also I really liked Shane O'Mac's. I like that the Miz is still being a heel in certain ways. He's being cowardly. I'm not ready to wrestle. What am I in? And look, I'm in a suit. And then Shane McMahon has an amazing pump up speech where he's like, I wasn't in wrestling attire when I wrestled the best in the world, but I won. I went out and won because you have to be ready and blah, blah. That's what being the best. And I'm just
Miz is just all right. Yeah.
I'm sitting there I'm gonna be a champion.
We got this.
Man, so motivated.
Yeah.
I was God damn it! I want him to just come talk to me. Wake me up in the morning, Shane.
Yeah.
Just I want that to be my
his
alarm.
kids have got to be the most.
In the world.
Yeah, his kids are the most motivated people in the world. Yeah. But yeah, very good segment. Between
good match out of it too.
Yep. I shouldn't say very good segment. Good segment. Room to improve on with their character work though. Playing off of each other. They've got you can see that they've got the groundwork there, but they still need a couple little more things with this feud, whether that be a match stipulation or whatever it may be, another promo next week, but they need something more with this feud to get me interested in seeing the actual match.
Yep. And the Sheamus Miz match was good.
Yep.
I think Miz looked good.
Yep.
Sheamus looked good.
Yep, there was only
the right person won.
I think they only had 8 minutes to try to cram in the match as well, so they did a good job with that. Yeah, right man won.
I think the right person won. And having the aspect of Shane not interfering, but preventing Cesaro from interfering and putting him through a table, distracting Sheamus. The way that Miz won was good because a roll-up keeps your champion strong. It does, yeah. It's a go-to. It's easy to build up other people when you roll them up. The way that he won. And then, it was nice on the aspect that you're seeing, they beat up on Sheamus. There's still those little heel things about Miz. Yep. And he influences Shane in a little bit of a heel way that way. And, but also Shane coming to Miz's defense, right?
Yeah. No, it's a cool partnership. I think there's potential here. It gives
is a great word.
When you get on screen with the boss's son, it's not a bad thing. Put it that way, because he's
like
gonna be watching.
Part of it still makes me think that the Miz is like such a user in this situation. And I love it though, like the way that he's like just over the top with everything. I'm like, God, he's just using him. I feel like.
But it makes me wonder.
He reminds me of Loki. He reminds me of Loki from the Marvel Universe. Like, I want to trust you. Like, you're so evil all the time.
I love that reference. Miz is the Loki of the WWE. That is too funny. Like just with the Miz there though, like I wonder if they're gonna do something where the bar ends up beating them, right? And Miz just shows his true colors the entire time. And then he beats up Shane McMahon, turning right back heel, and they lead into, I don't want to say it, but Miz and Shane at WrestleMania. Well,
Shane needs a match at WrestleMania.
And, I mean, Miz is a solid, dependable worker, so it might be going that direction. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. It'd be interesting. What if Shane was the one who turned on Miz at the end, and you had a Miz be the babyface versus a heel Shane? Right?
That could be good too.
That could end up working out. I don't know what they're gonna do, but there is potential there.
I like that.
Or maybe they end up winning the tag team championships and stay together as a tag team, the best in the world tag team
for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, but that is gonna do it for the podcast. Essentially, we've got a couple things though.
Match of the week obviously was Andrade versus Ray. We've already spoke on your MVP.
My MVP of the week is Finn Balor, because that man was awesome.
Yep. Sasha Banks, because just rewind the podcast and listen to me rave about her.
Yeah.
Earlier. Also, quick shout out. I meant to say in the triple threat match, Corey Graves is amazing. After Dean Ambrose lost, and Corey Graves goes, "Why are you so quiet, Renee?"
Oh my God. Oh, that's good. That's gold.
Oh, just the way that they play. He I think he called Dean hubby, or he called Renee wifey at one point during the match.
Oh my God.
Like, just so good together, man.
Oh, he's good. He's really, really good.
That's it.
Where can we find you? One sec. Where can we find you on Twitter there, Bob?
Bob's Wrasslin. BOBSRASSLIN. Bob's Wrasslin.
I love that little book there, putting it up right to the screen. Yes. I'm going to do the same here. You can find me on Twitter at Conman167. It's just like that. Beautiful. But, as always, I've been Con.
And I've been Bob.
And that was the Con and Bob Podcast.